Hi, welcome. Thank you so much to my growing number of subscribers. The views have really been spiking over the last few days, very unexpected. And I wanted to say thank you so much for the interesting and thoughtful comments that you guys are leaving, as well as tips and different ideas and concepts. You guys are really the crowd that I'm unbelievably privileged to have attracted to my channel. So thank you. And if you like the video, consider liking it as well. The video yesterday has got an extraordinary number of likes for the fewest views. So it's clearly hitting the mark. You guys like the content that I'm providing and my thinking process, and I like to attract a thinking crowd. So today what I'm going to be doing is my first impression of the Gamechanger 0.84 millimeter gap razor. So I've been using over the last 6 shaves the Gamechanger. This is the 0.68 blade gap, and I've also ordered with the identical handle the 0.84 blade gap. So I'm going to compare the two and let's see how it goes. Now I'm going to be using a fresh Astra blade, okay, and again I'm using Arko, and so I've chosen Arko to be the how can I say, the control for all my new razors, as well as the Astra blade. That's my control, my first go-to. Although one of my favorite blades is probably Persona, the Israeli Reds, but I find that these are widely available, as with the Arko, and it has a very high level overall for value for money. The Astra blades are very inexpensive. They're about a 7 out of 10 in terms of overall smoothness, performance, maybe 7.5. So I've just opened up the packet. Let's pull this out and put it in. So the reason why I think these Razorock razors are such good value is because they're made from stainless steel, and they're CNC manufactured, so they're extremely precise, and there isn't a great deal of blade play when you put the blade in. You really don't even need to check it. It's just perfect. So again, let's have a look at the head. I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up, but you can see it's got a serial number. It's a 0.08. It's got the same top cap, and let's pop this blade in. I'll try to capture everything on camera. And it's a really snug, it's snug. And I've got to say, to get a precision manufactured stainless steel razor like this, that's an heirloom, you can hand this down to the next generation. After you pass away, this is going to still go on. So I'm just doing it up, and it crimps the blade and grabs it really, really well. I mean, what I particularly like are these pinch points here, where it grabs the blade close to the edge, and I've experienced zero chatter with the 0.68. It's been terrific. So today also what I've done is, instead of using a full gram of Arko, I've only used 0.8. So I'm challenging now the limits of what Arko can do in terms of its quantity versus longevity. And we're going to try to see whether we can get 3 pass shave out of the 0.8 grams. Just run the water, and I'm just going to do up the lather, and I'll be back. Okay, I've just made up the lather and worked it up. This is 0.8 grams, which is great, and let's put it on. So yesterday I did the video of the slickness versus foam, and I find Arko has both slickness and a lot of foam. So it's a good compromise for a lot of guys who want to have that foamy Frosty the Snowman look, and guys like me who want to have performance in a soap. And apparently it's only €1 in the Turkish stores in Europe. I mean, this stuff in Australia, it's like, I think $5 or $6 AUD, which is about $3 or $4, or about I don't know, €250. But this is terrific stuff, and it contains enadronic acid, which helps soften up the beard, and I think it produces a really wonderful foamy tallow-based lather. Now, the 0.8, let's talk about blade gaps and blade exposure a little bit today. So the 0.8 blade gap simply just means that the gap between the safety bar and the blade itself is larger. However, this is all relative to blade exposure. So the further a blade protrudes past the shaving angle, the more blade exposure, the more positive blade exposure it has. And if it's recessed between the top cap and the safety bar, the further back it is, the less exposure the blade has. So blade gap is always relative to blade exposure. Just because something has a bigger blade gap doesn't necessarily mean it's more aggressive. The shave angle is extremely important, and how the razor, in combination with that blade, generates that cutting angle is very important. And you can think of it as, for example, a knife. You know, the most efficient way to cut something is perpendicular, and as the hair reaches what we call end range, that's where, you know, as it hits resistance, that's where it's going to be sliced. So let's try a larger blade gap. I think the blade exposure would be identical or very, very similar. The top cap looks identical to me, and it's the same handle, and the whole thing weighs 100 grams. So this is, there's no difference between this and the 0.68 other than the gap. Let's give it a try with Arko for the first time, see if there's any difference. Okay, it's more efficient, like instantly. There's more blade feel, for sure. I can feel that instantly. It's more efficient and there's more blade feel. By the way, I have just over 24 hours of growth. I think it's like 25, 26 hours of growth. And I have a pimple here that I've just run over. A lighter touch is needed. But it still feels mild. I'm just going to get some styptic on that pimple that I ran over. And that's one of the things that I was talking about. Any elevations when using a safety razor are going to be brought to the forefront and manifest when you have any protuberances, elevations on the skin. Find a place to put that. Okay, a touch more aggressive for sure. Yeah. Let's knock back a lot more here than the 0.68 millimeter blade gap, a lot more. So for me, I like a mild razor. So for me, the 0.68 blade gap is a happy medium for sure. And I think it's very suitable as a daily driver for somebody who wants to enjoy their shaves. If you really wanted to, with this 0.84 blade gap, This you can do in a 2-pass if you really wanted to. It's efficient. It's comfortable. It is very, very comfortable. A little bit more blade feel, but still very smooth. Especially with that new Astra blade in it, it's very, very smooth. So some people, if they like a little bit more efficiency in their shave, then yeah, the 0.84 blade gap is the way to go. It's nice. This is a nice razor. It's beautiful. Razorock. Okay, lighten up the touch on that second pass. I love this. I'll try to get you a close-up of how efficient that is on camera. I mean, just nailing the hair. So another thing that I've found is this blade gap means that you have to use a much softer approach. Okay, second pass is done. And this Arko is still going at 0.8 grams. I think I could even push it to half a gram. I mean, yeah, third pass now. Another thing that you can do if you want to be economical is just to squeeze that brush for your third pass. And you only need to put as much as you need for 3 passes. This whole idea of putting, almond size is unnecessary. This concept of almond size, I don't know where it came from. It's more like a peanut that you need, 1 gram is on most products is sufficient. This is, and again, you want all the lather to be on the brush, not in the bowl. I don't know why people want globs of lather and not slickness on their face. It doesn't make any sense. And I've noticed that some men are very, very stubborn. Even when the performance is bad of a product, if they have the idea that they want some shiny lather on their face with globs, like inches of lather, rather than testing for slickness, and feeling for that slickness, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. Some gents. I know my subscribers are smarter than the average bear. But there are some notions where guys, you know, especially older gentlemen, they just get in the mindset of, this is how it works, you know, and I'm just thinking, no, you want a fine grit, you want a lot of slickness. And not only that, I find that the embedding of the product in the skin helps substantially, and that if you have trouble washing it off because it's so slick, that's a great thing, because it allows the skin to be extra smooth, and it fills in the bumps and the gaps with that slickness that the razor can just slide over it and hit resistance against the hair only and cut that off. So to me, that's the hallmark of a very, very good product. Wonderful. It's good. This I find just as good as the maybe a bit better for me than the Gamechanger 0.68. Yeah, this might be a bit better. Be careful of the mole. We've got one weeper here and one here. That's really good. Okay, let's get around the nose. 3 passes with Arko. Let's check. And I've still got foam, still got lather left. And quite a good amount of lather left. I'll just do around the nose. I'll hit those 2 spots with a styptic. Beautiful. Just 2 spots or 3 spots with pimple. Cool. So already I like the finesse, the lighter touch of the larger blade gap, to be honest. But I think the sweet spot is probably with the smaller blade gap. I think this is a more mild, this is for everybody. Everybody can use this. This one, I think it needs a little bit more finesse and a little bit more control. I prefer it already after my first shave with it. This is quite phenomenal. So this larger blade gap of the Gamechanger, just, that is spectacular shave. You know, so effortless and easy to whip around the face. And these handles with the check knurling have a lot of grip. I'm not being paid. That's my honest to God opinion. The rain in Australia hasn't stopped, and I'm not sure if you guys are catching it on the news. A lot of people are being evacuated, and there are whole towns all along the east coast of Australia that are flooded. People have lost their houses. There are many heroic rescues that are in the news. So, you know, your prayers are really appreciated for the people in this really extreme time. Mother Nature, it shows its power. The dams in Sydney, Warragamba Dam, if you haven't heard it on the news, has been let loose, and so downstream all those towns and places have been flooded. A lot of animals are also in dire situations. So I've just used some witch hazel, and I'm about to use a hyaluronic now. And again, this Gamechanger, just like with a 0.68 millimeter blade gap, it's good value. It's a great razor. It's a terrific razor. If you had to buy a razor and just have one, and you knew how to shave, this Gamechanger, I find it very, very difficult to believe that people couldn't pull out a really high quality, nice shave with it. I mean, I like autopilot and I love effortless shaves. So I've just used some of the Pro Raso sensitive green tea and oat that I love. It's just a very mild, and I can whack on a cologne or aftershave and just have a really nice presentation for my day. So this is awesome. Awesome. This gets a thumbs up. And the Simpson shave cream from the other day, 2 thumbs down. So the products vary so wildly. In Arko, I reckon you can probably, if you needed to and you really wanted to economize, half a gram for a 2-pass shave and 0.8 of a gram for a 3-pass shave, where you're comfortable with a good deal more lather. I mean, for me, I could do another half a pass with that. So definitely Arko, value for money. It just proves itself again and again. Thanks for watching, guys, and thank you so much for your comments.